I told my husband I regretted marrying him, and now our home is a silent battlefield. Can words shatter a marriage beyond repair? How do you mend trust when you've broken someone's heart? Here's my story of love, regret, and the desperate fight to rebuild what I destroyed. I told my husband I regret marrying him. I urged him to find a life and friends beyond his empty hobbies, desperate to silence him after he flaunted his latest car invention. He's apologized, yet his coldness cuts deeper. Intimacy is gone, hobbies abandoned, and he's glued to work at home. Our TV watch? Alongs, a distant memory. It feels like punishment, and the silence screams, "Hello, all. I'm here seeking guidance and a space to release my burdens." It's consumed me for days, and I'm lost on how to mend what I shattered. I'm 28, and he's 29. 4 years of marriage, nearly 7 together. Time flies, yet the bond deepens. He's a brilliant mind, meticulous and reserved, finding solace in the comfort of home. His social life is a shadow, barely there. No nights out, no drinks, no games. His world is small, a few close ties, and he navigates life with a gentle difference. His universe is tiny, and I've always been its heartbeat. He has a room in the house that serves as his refuge. Every single word carries weight. It's his anchor in a chaotic world. A sim racing setup featuring a motion seat and triple monitors awaits. A complete yoke and rudder pedal setup for flight simulation. Mountains of soccer data analysis charts, each telling a story of triumph and heartbreak. Shelves brimming with finished Lego Technic cars and aircraft, each a testament to creativity and precision. MIDI keyboards, synth pads, and a tangled mess of cables. It's all so bewildering. His notebooks overflow with soccer stats, political theories, and scattered music chord progressions. Amid the turmoil, he finds beauty. It's his chaos, and he loves it fiercely. His desire to share everything with me has always been so genuine. He'll eagerly draw me close, revealing a tiny gear tweak on his sim, an intricate Excel graph of player formations, or a fresh synth line he's been crafting. I smiled, nodded, and asked questions, knowing it made him feel visible. Recently, I felt completely consumed. Work's a whirlwind, family chaos looms, and all I crave is silence. I never actually said that. I absorbed it all until I reached my limit. That night, I returned from a grueling day, only to find him in his room, bursting with excitement. He had finally calibrated the Sim steering wheel to align with real-life GT3 telemetry data, whatever that entails, and he urged me to take it for a spin. I love him deeply. In that instant, solitude was my only desire. But instead of asking, "Can we talk later?" I broke. Pure, unbridled fury. I screamed at him, deafening. I told him I was done with the lies of cars, planes, and numbers. It was painfully dull. Perhaps he needs to find a social life rather than relying on me as his only audience. I can't believe I actually said that. I questioned why I chose to marry someone so consumed by machines and data. His expression fell utterly still as my words hung in the air. He remained silent. He nodded slowly, as if a part of him was fading away. He whispered, "Okay," and left the room, silence hanging heavy in the air. I froze, shame anchoring me in place. That expression was new to me, haunting and unforgettable. Not anger, just pure devastation. He lay on the couch, lost in restless dreams. At first, it barely registered. I thought he just needed a moment to breathe. But the next morning, he never entered the bedroom. He dressed in the living room, the air thick with unspoken tension. Silence. Emptiness. Void. Only silence. I fought to change it. I said I was sorry that night. I claimed exhaustion and overwhelm, but I didn't truly mean it. He whispered, "It's okay. Perhaps you have a point." He never returned to that room again. I truly mean that. 5 days have passed. The door remains shut. He's been at home, a place he rarely visits for work. Now, he sits on the living room couch, laptop open, lost in a world of his own. He sacrificed everything, even our national soccer match, something he would never miss. That game held his soul. We never missed a moment, not even in college. Yet, he remained still, fingers dancing over the keys, as the game whispered silently behind him. When I asked him what was happening, he replied, "I just didn't want to watch it. Perhaps I should emulate my father more." He never squandered a moment on such trivialities. Work matters most after all. I understood the weight of those words. His father is a puzzle. A detached man, consumed by his work, shutting out all connections, even his own son. They found each other again, but the wounds still ache. My husband once vowed he would never turn into him. He chose to embrace his quirks and fervor over a cold, hollow triumph. But then he spoke, and an icy chill gripped my heart. Now, I understand why he chose to divorce at that age. Words escaped me. I stood frozen, watching a man who once shared endless hours on pixel-level cornering strategy transform into a stranger before my eyes. I've lost track of how many times I've said I'm sorry since then. I wrote him a note, bought his favorite snack, and read his soccer posts, desperate to connect. Each time I mention it, he only replies with a vague, "Maybe you were right." Perhaps it's time I faced reality. I've tugged at the thread of his being, and now it all falls apart. I can't find a way to end this. He avoids his passions entirely. He stays away from the bed. He never speaks of the things that once filled his heart with joy. I'm haunted by the fear that I've driven him too far. That single outburst could shatter everything we've built over the years. My heart still aches for him. I need to fix this. I'm lost, unsure where to start. Since that night, everything changed forever. Far from it. At first, I pretended they could. I asked him if he wanted to order from our beloved diner in Portland. He simply stated, "I'm not really hungry," then returned to his laptop, lost in thought. The burgers sat on the table, cold and abandoned, hours slipping by without a single bite taken. I left the TV on, the familiar rerun of an old soccer final flickering, a haunting echo of his obsession. Usually, that would have drawn him in completely. He hardly looked at it, brushing past me, his focus set on the spare bedroom. He had always avoided that place. Now, it's his refuge. He leaves the door wide open, yet it feels utterly unreachable. What hurts the most? His politeness cuts deep. He will wash the dishes, dispose of the waste. When I call out, he responds. Yet, it was only with the cold, measured words reserved for a colleague. He's not heartless. He's not heartless. But he doesn't belong to me at this moment either. He hasn't returned since I uttered those terrible words. I realize I failed. I shattered the sanctuary he held dear. I shattered his sense of self, making him feel that his world, his very expression, was nothing but childish and shameful. From me, his refuge, I believe it shattered something deep within him. I shattered his passion. I believe I made him feel unworthy of love, just as he is. The moment haunts me, replaying endlessly in my mind. His face fell when I confessed my boredom with his interests, urging him to find a social life. He turned, and left, silence hanging heavy in the air, as if hope had slipped through his fingers, as if he hung on my every word. Friendship has always eluded him. It's not that he's strange or withdrawn. He struggles to bond with those who lack his fervor. His passion is palpable, his details striking. Yet many simply turn away, uninterested and dismissive. I was the last one standing. Who pierced the veil of data sheets, sim rigs, and relentless debates on European midfield formations? Now, I sense he believes I've become one of those who never truly grasped him. I poured my heart out to my sister. As a therapist in training, she hears every story, every pain, with an open heart and no judgment. I thought she'd say I was too tough on myself, yet she chose not to. She claimed I shattered the one sanctuary where he felt safe to be himself, so now he's pulling away. It feels just like that, a sanctuary, as if he's fortifying his defenses, but this time it's different. I stand apart. I've considered bringing up therapy. For him, always, for us both. I'm lost on how to approach this without coming off as if I'm trying to change him, as I always have. He craves recognition, not judgment. At this moment, my very presence seems to weigh heavily, like a piercing gaze. I've been stepping back, letting him breathe. This weekend, I held back on the matter. I let him know I'd be there if he needed to share. He nodded, a silent agreement, heavy with unspoken weight. That's it. Today, I discovered him in his sanctuary room, a rare sight after days of absence. He sat at his desk, motionless, eyes locked on the unfinished Lego car, lost in thought. His hands lay still. His gaze pierced through the silence, adrift. Or perhaps he felt like the space had become unrecognizable, as if it were never his to hold. I lingered in the doorway, silence heavy, before I finally spoke. I feared adding to the pain. Finally, I whispered, "You don't need to say a word to me. I recognize my actions and their weight. I'm deeply sorry. You were wronged." Silence hung heavy in the air. Yet, he never told me to go. That was profound. He slipped into bed later that night. He no longer cuddled or kissed my shoulder like he once did. He lay on the mattress's edge, turned away, lost in silence. Yet, he was present. I wept softly into the pillow, lost in confusion. Was it truly progress? Routine? A farewell? I'm fighting to stay grounded. It feels like we're teetering on a razor's edge. I fear I shattered something beyond repair. I'm unsure if he's made up his mind about leaving. What chills the soul the most? He's so wounded. Words escape him. I don't even know how to fight for us anymore. I'm reaching out for guidance. How can I mend the trust with someone who's drifted so far away? How can I rebuild his trust after I made him feel so insignificant? Can I return from this? Has anyone faced a moment like this? This man holds my heart. I can't bear the thought of losing him. I can't find a way to connect with him. Summary. I attacked my introverted, neurodivergent husband over his hobbies, making him feel like his passions were worthless. Since that moment, he's closed off, abandoned our bed, and withdrawn into silence. I've said I'm sorry. He simply replies, "Maybe you're right," shutting down any chance of connection. Fear grips me at the thought of him walking away. How can I mend what I've shattered and make him feel visible once more? Ugh. Hey, sis. You ruined everything. I'm not trying to hurt you further. I want you to understand just how deeply this has affected you. Your husband is a quiet soul, deeply tied to you. He lacks outside support, and you are his anchor. Your words cut deep, shattering the essence of his being, not just his passions. For him, it's more than pain. It's a fracture of his very being. At this moment, he's likely convinced you finally revealed the truth, that deep down, you see him as a dull loser, lost in his trivial passions. He idolized his dad, even through the coldness. Now, he's grown up, emotionally detached, believing that's what you desire. To save this, mere apologies won't suffice. You must act. Show him your respect. Explore couples therapy. He needs a refuge, a place free from judgment and misunderstanding. Consider expressing your care in ways that prioritize others. Consider discovering a Lego set he's mentioned, or diving into his soccer passions. Then simply ask if you can explore together. Before everything else, confront your truth. Were those words your real emotions, hidden beneath the weight of bitterness? If you can't fully honor who he is, set him free. Leave behind the weight of obligation. He should be cherished for his true self. Share your thoughts. This was more than a rough night or a fleeting clash. This was a strike at the core of who I am. You didn't just challenge his hobbies. You questioned the very choice of marrying him. You called him a clingy loser for wanting a social life, forgetting he built a world with you, trying to share what he loves. Honestly, it seems like there was no communication before everything exploded. Did you even attempt to establish limits? Did you ever say, "I'm overwhelmed. Can I take a moment before we meet?" Or did you choke it all down until it burst into rage? It's your issue, not his. You can't make him come back. Not now. Yet, you can own your actions. Propose couples therapy not to change him, but to restore safe communication between you. Embrace the truth. This was never just a single misstep. Weeks turned into months, each moment a silent scream. Your needs trapped inside, unspoken to him. The silence screamed, far beyond your intentions. If he's willing to rebuild, then that's fantastic. But you must proceed with care, tenderness, and true introspection, a profound hurt. Prepare to show that love and respect endure. Hey there, just checking in. I never expected to return with an update. I've been grappling with this for some time now. I needed to express it, to give it life through words. Nearly 3 weeks have passed since my first post. I wish I could say things have improved, or that there's a glimmer of hope. Yet that's a lie. I've gone over my words again and again since that moment. I read most of the comments closely. Some cut deep, some offered solace, some brought tears. Some made me pause, forcing thoughts I never knew I had. What resonated deeply was the realization that I didn't merely attack my husband's hobbies. I struck at the core of who he is. The refuge chamber. It was a sanctuary of passion. It was everything to him. His worth, his art, his sanctuary to connect with the world in the only way that felt right. I once knew that truth, even in my confusion. With that insight, I struck him right at his deepest pain. He abandoned our bed once more, retreating to the guest bedroom. Each night, he grabs his pillow and blanket, slipping away into the guest room, leaving silence in his wake. I've stopped asking altogether. I refuse to plead, manipulate, or coax him into returning. I keep the door ajar, hoping he might reconsider one day. Yet he hasn't. He's returned to his sanctuary room, but it feels transformed. The door remains shut, a barrier to what lies beyond. Through the wall, I catch fragments. His sim setup whirs, soft music loops pulse, bursts of soccer commentary slice through the silence. Yet, I am a ghost in this world, no longer part of it. Once, he sought me out to share his thoughts, unveil new ideas, or simply to find solace in my presence. He remains lost to us. He's taken back the space, leaving me utterly erased. We're just getting by, I suppose. We discuss groceries. He urges me to remember the electric bill. I shared my work trip schedule for next week, and he nodded, a flicker of something unspoken passing between us. That's how our talks unfold now. A small Lego set sat abandoned on the kitchen counter last week. I realized he lacked what I once did to lift his spirits on tough days or to bring him unexpected joy. A note emerged from my pen. No pressure, just offering you something fresh to create if you choose to. That evening, I returned home to find it missing from the counter. Never created, vanished in an instant. Silence hung heavy between us, unspoken words lingering in the air. I watched a replay of our national team's match, heart racing, hoping he'd walk in, sit beside me, and share one of his sharp critiques about the formation or substitutions. Yet he remained in the guest room, consumed by his work, or feigning it. He's courteous. He's neither cruel nor angry. That could be the toughest moment. He feels utterly numb. He's not closing doors, not raising his voice, not putting up walls. He's simply absent. He's changed, no longer the same. I've begun my journey with a therapist, alone but determined. Only 2 sessions in. In that moment, I shattered, understanding I hadn't merely lost control. Months of unspoken resentment surged within me. I never spoke of it. I buried it deep until it erupted, covering him in chaos. And even worse, that resentment stemmed from an injustice. I craved distance, undeniably. I lost sight of the value in what he offered. I accepted his invitations as burdens, not blessings. I once felt a fierce pride in his trust, in the rawest pieces of his soul he shared with me. Yet, as time passed, my stress and emotional exhaustion transformed that trust into a heavy weight. In that moment, I struck him down, unaware that all he craved was recognition. I provided couples therapy. Not a solution, but a key to possibilities. He stared at me, silent stretching, before finally saying, "If that's how you really feel about me, I'm not sure there's a point." Those were his final words. I held back. Not unless he mentions it first. And I suppose that's just how it is now. He remains, a presence felt but not truly alive. All tasks complete, the day winds down, and darkness envelops the room. The once strong emotional bond now hangs by a thread, fragile and worn. It felt fragile, ready to break at any moment, and neither of us would have the power to mend it. I can't believe he's doing this to me. He's wounded, trapped in pain, unsure of how to mend, or perhaps unwilling to try. This update isn't for advice. It's different. I question if I even have a purpose. I need to share the truth of what unfolded next. He remains. Yet I sense something vital between us is missing. Remark 1. Your words are inexcusable. 3 weeks of silence, emotional distance, and ghosting in your own marriage. If he won't communicate or recognize your efforts, that's his burden to bear. You've faced your error head on. You've said you're sorry. Your gestures are gentle and respectful. If he wishes to save the marriage, he must step up and engage soon. Silence and withdrawal often stem from deep pain. Yet, as time passes, it morphs into a haunting torment. It's unjust and unsustainable. Remark 2. My heart aches for you. Owning your mistake without demanding forgiveness speaks volumes about emotional strength. You're allowing him room, owning your part, and facing the truth head on. Your healing is just as important. If he keeps you at a distance forever, that alone inflicts pain. You've changed. The words you once spoke feel distant now. If he's really gone emotionally and won't try to fix things, you need to know now, not later, so you can escape this emotional limbo. Yearning for clarity is completely natural. Consider how long you can endure this silence before it turns into something unbearable. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.